Alright, review number 4. Subtract 5 from both sides, divide, and you get the negative 9 over 4. Always combine like terms first, combine like terms, and then subtract 7x from both sides. That's how I got the 2x. Add 8 to both sides to get rid of the minus 8. It gives you the 24, so x equals 12. Combine like terms again, combine like terms, add 5x, add 17, divide. Combine like terms, add 6x to both sides, subtract 8, gives you 0. The pattern is changing by 5 each time. Changing by 5. So if I take away 5, I'm left with nothing. So the 0 figure is 0. The first one has 5, then 10, and so forth. Write an equation. Well, it's changing by 5 each time. And it started off at 0. Figure number 75 would just be the x. Plug it in, find the y. Slope is negative 1. My y-intercept is 0, 3. Put a dot at 0, 3. Go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, or up 1, back 1, back 1. Y-intercept's at 0, negative 2. Slope is 3/4. Start at 0, negative 2. Go up 3 over 4, up 3 over 4. A negative divided by a negative is also a positive slope. So I could go down and back. Y-intercept's at negative 4. My slope is up 3 over 1. My y-intercept is at 0, 0. So that's a plus 0. We just don't write it. So it's down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. So it's rise over run. Let's see. From one dot to the next, it rises 30, runs over 2. So that's 30 over 2, which reduces to 15. He is eating 15 M&Ms per minute. M&Ms per minute. If that's 50 to here, so halfway would be 25. So these are going by 25, so that's why it's 75. 5 across there, so it's negative 75 because it's going downhill. Divided by 5 is negative 15, spending $15 per day. Dollars per day. Find the slope, subtract the y's. It's the change in the y over the change in the x. So I subtract them, and I got 10. Subtract them, and I get negative 10, so that gives me a negative 1. So that's y equals negative 1x plus b. Plug in one of the points. I pick this point. There's an x and there's a y. Plug it in, the x and the y. X and the y. Solve, and you get b equals negative 10. So there's my equation. I'm going from teaspoons to cups. So I start with 2,000 teaspoons. I need teaspoons that cancel out. Give me tablespoons. Tablespoons cancel out, leave me ounces. Ounces cancel out, give me cups. Multiply across the top, divide across the bottom. You just want to make sure you can cancel each one out. So if I start with yards, I need yards to be here. And since I'm going smaller, I'm going down to feet here. So once I get to feet, then I need the feet to cancel out. So then I'm going down to inches, and the inches cancel out and give me the centimeters. Multiply all these across the top, divide at the bottom. Well, they're 1, so it doesn't matter. For each figure draw, okay, reflect. So I'm taking this guy, reflecting it across here, and I didn't count correctly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now I reflected it through. Gonna make sure it's the same distance across. I rotated this one. You can use a little piece of tracing paper, or you can just kind of rotate it, the paper. You go, oh, there he is. It's over 2, up 2. Put that dot. Rotate it again. Say, oh, it's over 2, up 4. Put that dot. Go over 2, up 4. Put a dot. You just keep going back and forth and rotate them. Or you can use tracing paper like we've been doing. Reflect across. Did I do it right? Yes, I did. See how it's 1 diagonal across, 1 diagonal across. 1, 2.5. There's a half. 1, 2. 1, 2 diagonals. 1, 2. Rotate this one counterclockwise. So I just did that and said, oh, -1, 2. And I put that dot, -1, 2. And then brought it back over. And I went -1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep doing that, and you can rotate it. Or use tracing paper like we said. Parallel means the slopes of the lines are the same. So I knew the slope would be the same. And I just have to plug in my point, my x and my y. So I plug in my x and my y. Solve, and I get my b. Parallel again means the slopes are the same. I just have to solve for the slope. So I divided by 2, divided by 2. And that gave me the slope of 2. So I knew the slope was 2. Plugged in my 6 for my x, -3 for my y. Solve, and I got -15 is my b. Perpendicular. So I'm finding the line that is perpendicular. So that means the opposite reciprocal is the slope. So I flip this slope over and make it the opposite. So if this one's positive, so now it's going to be negative. That's how I got the -2/5. Still going to plug in my point. 10, -7. 10, -7. 10 times -2 is -20. Divided by 5 is -4. Add 4 to both sides, and that's how I got a -3. And there's my equation. Same process here, except my slope is hidden in this equation. You have to find it by solving. So subtract 2x from both sides. That's how I got the 3y equals -2x plus 9. And then divide by 3, divide by 3. So that gives me a -2/3 is the slope of the line. I need the perpendicular slope, so it's going to be +3/2. So that's how I got the +3/2. And then I plugged in my 6 for my x, my -11 for my y, and solved. That's how I got my equation. Starting to run out of time. X-intercept, you know the y is 0 every time, so I plugged in 0 for y. So he's gone. So it's just 6x equals -12. Divide by 6 on each side, and x equals -2. Plug it in. Y intercept tells me the x is 0, so I plug 0 in for x. Now I got 0 equals 2y minus 12. Add 12 to both sides, and you have it. I plotted each point, drew my line. Did the same process there. Plugging in 0 for the y and solving, plug in 0 for the x and solving, you'd find the y-intercept. Plot those 2 points, I can draw that line. Alright, good luck.